Okay, that should be about right. Oh, I'm just finishing something here. You have to see just what I think it might look like, because it has to do with the field trip that we're going on today. We're going to visit International Space Station. Here's some background information before we visit. Nonfiction book, remember, has our chapters. Whenever we see text in black or bold, we can always stop and look up that word in the back. And notice that most of the time, nonfiction has as much information in the picture around it as actually in the text. It's November 2nd, 2000. A space shuttle docks at the International Space Station, ISS. Its outer hatch opens. One American and two Russian astronauts float through it. They are the first people to live in this giant space laboratory. It's pretty amazing. So here's the space shuttle, which actually took them to the space station. And then they get off and they travel down. And this is where they actually live. What is the space station? Well, the ISS is the largest machine people have ever put into space. Astronauts live and work aboard it. The ISS orbits Earth. It can sometimes be seen in the night sky. So I hope that you get an opportunity this summer to stand outside and look and see if you can see a space station. And after we visit the NASA site, I think that you'll be able to recognize it. It's not a plane, but it's the actual space station. Will humans ever live in outer space? If they do, they will need clean air, water, and food. Crews on the ISS are learning how to make this possible. They study the effects of living in space. It's a small world. More than 200 astronauts from 18 countries have visited the space station. I guess that's why they call it the International Space Station. It took 13 years to build the International Space Station. The space shuttles carried parts into space. The station's gigantic robotic arms put the big pieces together. Astronauts went on spacewalks to connect the smaller parts. In 2011, the ISS was complete. I can't imagine being tethered and then having to go outside and work on the space station. The ISS is made up of parts called modules. Some modules are science labs. Others store cargo. Crews on the ISS live in the modules. The modules give astronauts a place to sleep, eat, and work out. And that was what I was trying to build with my clay model, are the little modules. And did you notice that the astronaut took a guitar into space? That's pretty cool. Modules are connected by the truss. The truss is the longest part of the ISS. It has airlocks where spacecraft can dock. At its ends are solar panels. These power the ISS. This is a great side view where you can see the modules, the trusses, the robotic arm, and the solar panels, where it's airlocked. The first mission to the ISS was in 1998. Many nations sent up pieces to help build the station. Since then, there have been more than 50 missions to the ISS. Astronauts from all over the world use it. They can send up to many as 6 people to work on it at one time. Look how they're in their gear. It looks very cumbersome. Like, how could you move with all of that around you? Lots of practice. Astronauts do many experiments aboard the ISS. They want to know how humans can live in space for a long time. They study how to grow food. One day their work might help humans travel to planets like Mars. Wow. And look at all the different science experiments around here. And their things are in plastic bags. I love this model. This is what I was actually trying to do, trying to make mine so that I had the solar panels. I was thinking about the length and the height and the width. So when you look at this book carefully, you'll be able to see all the different parts when you come back to it. And here is the glossary when you reread if there's any words. And the reason why I had you look at this book before we actually saw the video is so that you would know what you were looking at. This is the actual nasa.gov official site. I will post this and you will go back and then you'll have the opportunity to look at the 3 other field trips inside the space station. We're going to take a look at this one, the first one. And if you double click it, it will open. And we will begin.
Hello, I'm Sunny Williams. I'm up here on the International Space Station. So this is Node 2. This is a really cool module. Of course, most of these modules you'll see they have 4 sides and they're put together. That way we could sort of work on a flat plane, either a wall, a floor, another wall, or the ceiling. But, you know, again, all you have to do is turn yourself and your reference changes. The reason I'm bringing that up is because this is where 4 out of 6 of us sleep. And so people always ask about sleeping in space. Do you lie down? Are you in a bed? Not really, because it doesn't matter. You don't really have the sensation of lying down. You just sit in your sleeping bag. So here's one sleep station right here. I'm going in right now. You can follow me if you want. So I'm inside. It's sort of like a little phone booth, but it's pretty comfy. I've got a sleeping bag right here that we sleep in, so we don't have sort of like a little bit of a cover. We don't fly all over the place. But you know, you can sleep in any orientation. I have it feeling like I'm standing up right now, but like you saw, I'm on the floor. But it doesn't matter if I turn over and I sleep upside down. I don't have any sensation in my head that tells me that I'm upside down, so it really doesn't matter. The sleep station is also like a little office. We've got a computer in here. As you can see, we've got a couple little toys. I've got some books. I've got some clothes and other things that make it sort of like home. I'm coming out. And just for reference, that's one sleep station. This one's another. Right here. There's one on the ceiling, if you want to call it. Right here. And then there's a 4th on the other wall over here. So all of us sleep in a little bit of a circle. All right, come on back. There's more to show you. I know that there's some questions about how to use the bathroom and how do you actually live in space like normal, like at home. I mentioned real quickly about getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth and washing your face. Well, how do you do that? Well, here is the bathroom, essentially. You get up in the morning and we have a little kit and it has all the essential things that you need, like your toothbrush and toothpaste and brush. See how much better the brush makes my hair look? I'm just joking. It still stands up straight. It doesn't matter where you are. It's always going to stand up straight while you're up in space. A lot of people ask about toothbrush and toothpaste. So, luckily enough, toothpaste, you can do it upside right this way, is sticky, and so it sticks to your toothbrush. No problem. Another cool thing is that water sticks to your toothbrush too. If you can see it. I'll have some water come out. Water is pretty neat up in space. It'll stick to your toothbrush, and it will make a big bubble. And that's just by surface tension. And then you can drink it. So a lot of people ask about what do you do with the toothpaste after you brush your teeth. Two options. Swallow it, and it's sort of like mouthwash, but it tastes a little gross. Or you can just spit it out in a paper towel, and then you don't have to worry about it. Swallowing thing I wouldn't recommend at home. I'm only up here for 4 months, so it's not that bad. One of the most pressing questions about living in space, of course, is the bathroom. So let's take a look at that little piece of work. Come on in. Here we are at the throne. This is awesome. You might see the little, you might have noticed the little moon on the outside. This is our orbital outhouse right here. And of course, it serves for two functions. Number two, right here. I'll show you. But you see it's pretty small, so you have to have pretty good aim, and you be ready to make sure things get let go the right direction. And it smells a little bit, so I'm closing it up. And that's, of course, for number two. And this guy right here is for number one. So they're sort of two slightly separate functions, but you can do a little, essentially both, by hanging on right here and doing number one and number two. I might add it's color coded, so you really don't get it mixed up, which is nice. This is yellows for number one. And also, there's a selection of paper. People always ask about toilet paper. What do you do with toilet paper? What kind of toilet paper do you have? We have gloves, just because sometimes it does get messy. We have some Russian wipes, which are a little bit coarse if you like the coarse type of toilet paper. We have some nice tissues, which are nice and soft if you like soft toilet paper. We have Huggies, just for any cleanup. You know, we were all babies once, and this sort of helps. And then as things get really out of control, we have disinfectant wipes, just to make sure we clean up here. Because, you know, just like the water I showed you, the number one stuff can sort of go all over the place if you don't aim correctly. And did I mention both of these have a little bit of suction, so they should keep things going in the right direction. But like I said, sometimes things get a little out of control if you are out of control yourself flying around. So we have lots of protective stuff. And of course, you do have your privacy. There's a little door, so other people know that you're in there. Here's a pretty cool place. This is sort of like in your house where everybody meets in the morning. After you wash your face, brush your teeth, you want to find something for breakfast. And this is our kitchen. You might notice there's all sorts of foods here. It's like opening the refrigerator. You got all your different stuff that you want to have: drinks, meats, eggs, vegetables, cereals, bread, snacks. And that's a good place. That's where you find all the candy. Side dishes, and then some little power bars just in case. So we have all this type of food. Some of it is dehydrated, and so we have to hydrate it, fill it up with water. Some of it is already made, and then all we have to do is heat it up. So something like this, I'm pulling out barbecued beef brisket. Pretty yummy. Not only is this food made in the U.S., but we also have food here from Japan. We've got Russian food. As you can see, all these red containers are filled with food that's from Russia. And then we get some of our specialty stuff, some things that we like, some of our favorite stuff that your family can send up. In fact, I like fluffernutters, and so I got sent up some fluff so I could make my fluffernutter with peanut butter. So you have a lot of food up here, no problems.
All right. After you review that one, I'm sure you'll want to, you have the opportunity. There's 3 other videos that actually take you inside another field trip inside the International Space Station. And I'm sure you'll want to view those more than once. There's a lot of information and a lot of cool things inside there. But I also want to show you that this is the site that has more than just the field trips on them. So if you come back, you're going to see these topics. Each one of these windows has information. And the one we're going to look at over here is the audiences. And if you go down through students and you click on that, this has activities and games and videos and all kinds of information. And it's broken up into age groups. So it goes all the way. It has for older students as well, if you have older brothers and sisters, and even parents love to look at the space and find out all the information on there. They have a website that you can sign up for, and it'll tell you if the space station is going to be passing over Olean. You'd put in your zip code. So that would be a fun one that I've already done, so I can see, look up at the night sky to let you know when it should be traveling above us. So sometimes we think those bright stars are stars, and it might really be a space station. So I think that would be a lot of fun to do. Right, and I want to take you now to, well, why are we learning so much about the space station, becoming such experts? Well, you're going to make a space station. Here are some examples that students have made. This one was just paper towel roll, toilet paper roll, tin foil, things that they had around the house, and they made the space station. They do sell Legos, but if you just have Legos, you can take yours and build a space station. This student cut out cardboard and painted or used markers and actually built one. And this is the book that you can go back to, because you might want to make a little like trading card that has the height and the weight, the width, where it's going to be flying over, what the mission is. So that would be a lot of fun to actually create your own space station, and be sure to upload it so that we can see what yours looks like. So until next time, boys and girls, keep your eyes to the sky and watch and learn and listen.